So the workspace, you can choose the default, or you can pick anything you want. So for example, a workspace like this, it's just a folder that contains all your projects. Okay? So let's just say that I want to have a workspace. The one is like whatever the default, that you can use that. If you don't want it, you can just say go browse, and you can go to a location somewhere. Again, and just say I'm going to use the one on the desktop. Okay, I'm on a desktop here. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'll call it Java, summer 2018. Okay, so I select the folder, open the folder, or select it. Okay, just select it, and just click OK. And then now that is my workspace. So it's just a directory where you store all your projects. And you can swap, you can change this later on if you want. So just select that and then click OK. And then now it's going to create a new project space for me. So it's opening a new one. You can open Eclipse multiple times, multiple copies, except you cannot share the same workspace. Okay, so if you have two opening at the same time, then you have to use a different workspace. You can't share, because if you change it, it's going to affect the other ones. Okay, so once you have this screen here, if it's the first time you're using, you can X out, you can leave it on, or you can, on the bottom right, there's a check box that say always show this welcome starter. If you don't want to see this ever again, just turn that off. And then you can just exit out here. And now you are in the IDE. You see something like this before? Anybody? It's familiar? Okay, all IDEs look very similar. NetBeans look just like this as well. If you go to Visual Studio or Brackets, they all look the same. Okay, which is good because you want to be consistent. So you have on the left column here a Project Explorer folder. Again, all this can be moved around. Okay, you're not limited to what is set up here. This is default setting. These are called perspectives. Okay, so this is a default perspective, and you can change it around by going to up here in the window, and there's a perspective tab, and then there's an open perspective. You have about a couple of them here. So right now we're on the default. I think it's the Java perspective. If you change that to a different perspective, like debug, when you debug your code, you see that everything arranges in different windows when you debug for debugging purposes. Okay, so you can change it around and then go back to the perspective you want. If you don't remember, just say perspective reset. If you set it, it's going to bring it back to, just say yes, all the way back to the original settings. Oh, did it do it? Reset perspective. Do you want to reset the current debug perspective? Oh, just said no. Yeah. Oh, didn't do it. Oh well. If it does, great. If it doesn't, you can change it back to Java. You can get from there, or on the top right here, you see this well. This is also perspective. So notice we have the open perspective. If you open that, you get the same screen. Okay. And again, the one with the bean here is called the Java EE. So depending on which version you have, you may not have the Java EE perspective. So yours may be just the Java, which is completely fine. So I'll change it to Java. Perspective will be just Java. Okay. It will look something like that. You still have the Explorer on the left here, and then the bottom is where your console screen is going to be when you run the application down here. On the right side is all other stuff here. So when you code this, you don't have to use all these screens. So I usually don't use the one on the right at all. I can just close all these out. Okay. I use the left, the main window, and then the bottom for the console. When you run your application, it's going to open another window called the output. The terminal will be shown on the bottom of the screen. And that's pretty typical setup. And again, you're not limited to this. You can move it around if you want. You can even float some of these windows too. Okay, so for now, there's no project. So when you create a project in the IDE here, on the left side, you have you can do anywhere. You can right-click anywhere in the Explorer window here. Right-click and then select New, and then Java project. Okay, we're going to do only Java project in here, so that's what we want. If you were taking Java 2, we'll do some other projects, but now it's just Java project. So you can do that here, or you can go into the file and then just New, again, Java project, or you can go in here, the little plus sign here, drop down, and then New Java project. So either one. Okay, so I just go in Java project, and you need to give it a name. Again, the name will be like the name of the application, like, you know, I don't know, text or something, right? So I'm just going to say my first Java project, right? And then just select the default location here. All these should be selected. The JRE version 1.8 should be the one selected. If you have others, it'll be shown here. If you want the 1.8, the latest one I have. And then just select the default. Click Next. And then it just showed you some other tabs here. For now, you can leave all these as default. And then just click Finish. Okay, so next time you just click Finish. You can skip the process. So now we have a new project up here called My First Java Project. Again, this is just a Java project. If I open my folder where this was stored, because I saved it in the front on the desktop, it should be in there. So my desktop here is the Java Summer Workspace. And there's that file called My First Java Project. And you have the metadata and the other remote system templates. These are controlled by the IDE itself, so just make sure you don't delete those. So that's the project. Okay, so as you can see, just a folder. It has all these features in here. It has the bin src. If I expand my directory here, so you see all these stuff in here. Okay, so same thing, right? You go here. If you expand these, you'll see exactly the same. So your project will look like this. You always have a folder called src. That is where your source code goes. Okay, you write a Java file. It needs to be stored in that directory. And then the library here, just don't do anything to it. Okay, just don't delete it or something. If you do, it's gonna have some errors and you can't run your code. So this is again installed in here directly by default for you. Okay, so now once you have a project, so every project will look like this. So when you do your assignments, for example, chapter 1, you can say, you know, chapter 1, whatever it is, right? And then chapter 2, chapter 3, and so on. You can have a lot of projects in here. This is just one of them. So let's just say if I create another one, I can go again, right-click in here, new project. I can say, you know, chapter 1 project. Just click Finish. Okay. So I keep all my chapters in here, chapter 2, chapter 3, and so on. So your entire course can be listed in this project folder. Okay. And then because each of these are you know, independently or separately contained. Okay, and you can see they have similar structure, the src and so on. Okay, so in the src folder for the first project, you want to go and create a new class, like we did with the Notepad, right? So in here, you would do that by right-click on the src folder. Usually, anywhere is fine, but usually there. And then you can say New Class. Okay? Java, you have to write a lot of classes. Every class, every program has to have a class. You can do that there. Or you can go and then go up here in the shortcut, this little green C here with a plus. That's a new class as well. You click that. Okay. Next to that, you see another icon. Let's yellow form, orange form here. That's a package. Okay, a package. Later on, we'll learn is that you want to store your files in a package, and just that you can organize your files. As you write big programs, they get complex, and then you will organize it by putting into a package. A package is really nothing than just a directory, a collection of directories where you put your stuff in there. So let's just say we create a package in here. If you don't create a package, then it's going to be a what's called a default package Java provides. So it needs to be in a package anyway. So let's say I'm going to create a package first. So click the yellow sun here. You just do right click and then new package instead of class. Okay. The package name is usually followed by a it's like a domain name. You make it unique. So usually like the opposite, the reverse of a domain name. For example, let's say I have a website or I have a company called mycompany.com, right? So you put like com.mycompany, right? Whatever it is, and then dot a special name could be like Java. Okay, that's typical way of naming a package. You see that very common. Also, if you are going to build mobile devices, mobile apps, same thing. Okay, so just say you put a package there, click finish, and now you see this package right here. It looks kind of strange, like something there. But if you look in the directory outside of it, let me refresh this. Okay, in the src folder, or you see just a folder, right? A folder called com, a folder called my company, a folder called Java, and then this is where I store my file. So you can see the structure. So every dot is a folder layer. Okay, it's just very easy in the IDE. You could just put that in there. But if you were to create it manually outside in the folder explorer, it's really takes a lot of work to do it. Okay, so it's okay. Yes. If you don't create a package yourself, then it will all be stored inside a package called default, which is not visible, but it's there. Okay. In other words, it will just store right in the root directory right here.
Are there any rules or specific guidelines for package name?
No, there's no. Again, this is just a convention, but there's no rule. Okay, you can have just one name. You can have, I guess 100 dots. It's just crazy, but you can. Okay, so let's see inside this package here, I'm going to create a class. So again, we'll just do a right click here and new class, and we'll call the same as before, right? Hello Java. Hello Java. This time, don't put extension because it will take care of that for you. Okay, it knows that. Going to be created for you, and yet you can see here the folder, the source folder, the package name here, the name of that. The modifiers will be public, just default, and you see what this means. And in here, you want to select if this Hello Java is the main program. This is where the program starts. Then you want to select the one that says public static void main option. Okay, so that method can be created for you automatically. Otherwise, you have to manually type it yourself. And the constructor will do that later on. For now, just make sure that first option is selected. The other two could be on off, doesn't matter. And just click finish. And you should be presented with that class, as you can see. Okay. Okay, so yeah, a little bit small. I can't zoom here. I'll show you how to zoom here later on. I don't remember the setup, but so you can see that the Java is inside here. If you go out here to the file, same thing, go inside here, inside my company.java, and there's the file, right? It's way deep down there. So you can see we have the package name up here, the word package, followed by the name of the package. If you don't have the package, it'll be just nothing. It'll be default, blank. So we have another class in here. The second class will also have the same package name. So they are accessible within the same group. Okay? And that's what package is for. Used to just basically organize all your classes. And this is a comment. A comment is the 2 slashes. A comment will be just a comment, a note to put to yourself or to other programmers to tell what's going on in this piece of code, right? It does not it won't get executed by the compiler. So you can remove that, and as you can see, it looks very similar to what we had before. Okay, and then now in here I can go and then type the system.print, out that print. The nice thing about this though, as you can see, as soon as I type in system, it tells me what's available. System dot, it tells me I have all these options to use. Okay, these are all items or properties which are part of the system class. So I want to get the print and want system print. I'm sorry, out, right? Dot print. As you type in print p, you see all kinds of stuff here. Print ln, print with other options. You have a lot of functions to use. Okay. And there's another one for printf as well. Printf is for formatting, but we'll do that later. So you can click one of these here if you want. You click on it, and then it will tell you, oh, it needs to have a string in there. So X could be a string. So again, a string could be just like that. A double quote, and then here you put a hi there, Java1, and then pound sign. Okay, so very simple like that, very helpful. It color code everything for you. And if you type a mistake, for example, if I type in a small s instead of a big S here, it will tell you that there's an error. Gives you a red line. Okay, and then if you mouse over there, it will tell you that it gives you the option to fix it as also. Okay, so it will tell you, and if you look on the right side of those columns, you have a bunch of red errors. It will tell those are errors. For example, if I go here and just do something like this, right? It tells you all of the errors on the right side. You click on it, it will take you right to it. Okay, so really helpful IDE. So save, the big S system save here. And then to compile, you just basically just click this play button in the top. Okay? Click the play button. If there are no errors, then you see the message down here at the bottom of the console. This is the console down here at the bottom. So that's the message. It's all happening in the same place in the IDE. It's very handy. And it's very easy because I can go back and change it. Oh, hello to Java1, and then just save and then run again. Right? I get the instance output right away. So it's much handier than the other way we just did. Okay, so this is how you'll be using this IDE to write your programs, develop all the exercises and so on, and you write your project. Okay, so for this week, I would highly recommend go ahead and read through chapter 1. You can start just doing the exercises in there, and see if you have any questions. If you bring those questions back to us next week, next Monday, you go over in class. And so next week I'll go into chapter 1. I'll talk about Java, and you can read it in the notes as well, so we can move a little bit faster. Other than that, if you have any questions at all, let me know. Okay, shoot me an email, and don't get behind. Don't fall behind, because if you do, because the first one is really slow, the second is kind of slow, but after that, once you get to chapter 3 and on, it's moving really fast. Okay, so you really want to digest all these in there. Make sure you get all these logic in place. If you lose it somewhere, if you get lost along the way, you might have to spend a couple hours or a couple weeks to just get back and where you missed that step or so. But all the programs will look very similar to the